Now, the Green Party wants to switch to electric vehicles to be a real transformation in how people travel and move around. We want the cars, alongside the electric buses and vans, to be a real game changer. We want all new cars to be zero emission by 2027, with the aim of being able to remove all petrol and diesel cars from our roads by 2035. But that does mean making them affordable. It does mean having a charging point wherever people need them. So if you're a teacher, you need one at school. If you live in terraced housing, you need one on the street close to you. And if you make long trips, then you need chargers at every roadside stop-off. But we have to keep this real. And the fact is, electric vehicles won't help with climate change emissions unless all those charging points are run from renewable energy. Because if they're not renewable energy, you're just moving, you're transporting the pollution somewhere else, somewhere possibly more rural and where it's even worse. And so you have to do it properly. And of course, we have to make batteries that can last for years and years and years. There should be no throwaway culture when it comes to the batteries. And of course, electric vehicles won't completely cut roadside pollution. It doesn't cut the particulates, for example, coming off tyres and brakes, and that is quite a big factor in air pollution. And electric vehicles won't stop congestion or cut the number of people killed and injured on our roads, which is a horrifying statistic at the moment. And there are also environmental trade-offs. Building any car takes raw materials, sometimes toxic materials, and it does add to the planetary burden that we humans create. And on cost, for those people who are obsessed with the cost of doing this, you always have to ask yourself, what is the cost of not doing it? Because the fact is, climate change is coming at us like an express train. And when you look at what's happening in America, if you look what's happening all over the world, you see that the weather patterns are very, very different. The hurricanes, for example, in America were exacerbated by the fact of climate change. And we could experience something similar here. We have to move fast. And so, however much this costs, we have to ask exactly how much it costs if we don't do it. But EVs are expensive. We need a well-funded scrappage scheme, along with a transport system that gives people a genuine choice, because the real solution here is traffic reduction. More people on buses, bikes and local trains means fewer cars on the road, and that means less pollution, less congestion and fewer casualties. So instead of owning a car, many would prefer a mix of car, bus and rail, with electric car clubs set up all over the country and offering car use on the cheap, relatively cheap. The transition to electric vehicles is a real opportunity to think about how we travel and whether we need car rental instead of car ownership. After all, people now download or stream rather than own things, and so it's time perhaps to apply the same approach to driving. It could happen if the government puts enough money and focus on making car clubs convenient, cheap and reliable, but also, of course, on public transport. And I very much hope that this Labour government is going to take the problems of road reduction traffic reduction very, very seriously, because I think this is the only way forward.